Well, hello everybody. Chad here, yes, from Colorado Giants. Today is Tuesday, September the 10th. We are back from vacation. And man, was it good to get away and really not do a whole lot of work for a few days. That was needed in a big way. But we're back, and this is pretty cool. Got this while I came. If you guys remember in some of the past videos, I threw out the first pitch at the Rockies game, and so they sent me this here plaque with a picture of Emily EI and Maxwell on there. Focus. That's pretty darn cool. So I was happy to get that in the mail. That was really nice of them. And then the baseball autograph by the pitcher that caught, the pitcher that caught the ball. And then we're getting some bubbles coming in, so cover up the address there. Also, if you guys are sending a bubble, the outer one doesn't necessarily have to be a bubble, but it never hurt. So we got 1, 2, we got 3, we got a couple more over there. This one's from, cover that up, local guy here in Colorado. And I haven't opened these. I'll get to them. Do keep in mind, be a little patient with those. Excuse me, let's go walk out to the pumpkin patch. Because I'm going to send you seeds from all the pumpkins. So I'm not going to send them out right away. It'll probably be end of October, start of November when I'll send those back, because I'm going to give you seeds from all the pumpkins. So, we're paying for shipping, so I might as well give you, more seeds. So, if you don't get them back right away, that is why. So, watering the gourd here, turn this off. When we came back, I'll walk in here now because I'm not too worried about it. When we came back from Cape Cod, this gourd right here had gotten caught on this vine, so this thing was like full-on letter J shape, and I took it down, or I kind of unhooked it, and hopefully it's starting to straighten out. We still got a little bit of a curve to the left, but it's looking good. The other long gourd, the longer long gourd, starting up there. We're down there. I redid my measuring. I didn't need to get to this level. I actually need to get to about the ground, which I'd have to say I'm probably 18 inches or so away. If I get there, if I get to the ground, it'll be close to a state record. The plant still looks pretty good. Bottom half is starting to show age, which is common and expected. We got another one growing here, kind of in and out of the wire that I use, and then we got a bushel gourd growing here with my hand for size reference. Need to support that. Memo to self. Let's go check out the plants. Fair warning, I haven't measured today. I had to go into work and was working. So I'll take a pause here in a minute and I'll measure them, and then we can get everybody the latest and greatest information. But at a glance, the plants don't look terrible. Still Bernie the plant, that main vine, that's to be expected. A lot of that's dying back. A little bit of powdery mildew, not too much. I haven't really sprayed anything. No Eagle 20 this year or anything like that. At this point, I'm just kind of like, go, be free, do whatever it is you're going to do. Grasshopper, get out of here. So when I was in Cape Cod, so for reasons that I have no idea why, I did not do any filming of the pumpkin patches I went to. I went to Cape Cod, and from Cape Cod, I drove over to Rhode Island, and I met up with Ron Wallace, who's super, super awesome guy. Showed me his pumpkin patch. Then we went over to, oh my gosh, I'm gonna feel so bad. I forgot the second, Steve, I believe. His name was Steve. He had some great looking pumpkins. They're probably 1,800 pounds. Ron had a 1,700 pounder. And then we went to Gene LaRue's place, and he had a couple that were probably 1,900. So it was really cool. I definitely got to see the biggest pumpkins I've ever witnessed in person. So I was pretty excited about that. I just saw a cucumber beetle. There he is. Cucumber beetle right there. Out of squishing range. Looking for him. But I do have a handful of pumpkins just kind of growing here, there, and everywhere, and I'm just letting them go at this point, because I think this pumpkin's pretty much winding down. Anyway, so where I was going with that in the first place is that Gene LaRue in Connecticut he was grown in 1911, and it looked just like Bernie. It looked identical. I was like, Gene, what was one attribute of this pumpkin, of this plant, that you were surprised with, or that just what did the plant do? He's like, it burned. I'm like, mine too. So definitely a genetic trait for this this pumpkin is that the plant likes to burn. But such is life. But I do think this thing is heavy, because I'm giving this pretty good whacks, and it just. I'm telling you, it sounds. If a whack is a measure of heaviness, this is the heaviest whacking pumpkin I've ever whacked. Which we'll just leave that one alone. So then we got the other 1984 Baron going over here, the 1211 Alts, some other pumpkin. We got a couple, probably 100 pounders or so over there. But I'm going to pause right here. I'm going to take some measurements so you guys know what's up. With the what's up, we'll trudge over there. I'll show you what we got going. And then I'm really excited about the bushel gourd. I don't know if you can see it. Super zoom. Oops, wrong button. Super zoom. You can see it right there at the top of the bushel gourd. That grew a lot while we were away. And yeah, so let me get some measurements. We'll come back. I'll show you these. Show you the bushel gourd over there, and then we'll talk about what we got going on for next year. Okay, and we're back. So this is the 1211 Alts, one that was guaranteed to be a beautiful orange. And to be fair, it is starting to orange up. This pumpkin, if you've been following us, which hopefully you have, for most of this pumpkin's life, it was sheltered with all these leaves, so it was covered. It didn't get a lot of sun, and as you can kind of see, I've been just stomping the leaves back a little bit to try and orange this pumpkin up, which has been working. So, it is turning orange, so good for this seed. This one measures at about 200 pounds, a touch over. And it does thump. This one actually thumps pretty solid too. Not as solid as Bernie, but pretty solid. I'm not sure if you can pick up that sound. And plant health on this plant, pretty good. You'll see like a little bit of powdery mildew. That one's got it worse. Some age on that main vine. But all in all, for plants that were basically, I'll say 95% neglected, pretty okay. I'm happy. And then this one, the other 1985, pollinated with mystery pollen. This one is 400 pounds. Pretty much on the nose, 400 pounds, and then Bernie over there is taping at 740. But to be fair, I don't know if I'm taping that right because it's so wide at the bottom. I'm just kind of grabbing it. But if it's over 740, I'll be happy. And then this one, so you can kind of hear, this one definitely doesn't sound as hard as Bernie. That one just, to me, seems like a rock. Okay, so let's go make our way over to the bushel gourd as I just kind of stomp myself a path here. I'll show you, we got a couple of 100 pounders growing. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. There's a cucumber beetle that just landed right there. And there's another, oh, they're everywhere. One right here. One right there, one right there. So there's a cucumber beetle infestation going on in the Colorado pumpkin cave, which happens when you got a hole in your protection. So these guys right here picked a interesting way to grow. So I'm gonna guess this one's probably 1984 Barron, and this one's probably the 1211 Alts, just because the two different colors there. That one's got kind of a pear shape. This one's got like a peanut long shape. So hey, that's pretty fun. Oh my gosh, I'm falling. That's kind of fun. We'll have some pumpkins for the porch, or maybe I'll sell them, I don't know. But let's go check out the gourd, and I see a pumpkin in the middle of the gourd plant right there. That's not supposed to be there. Where'd you come from? So the gourd I'm pretty excited about. So this guy's measuring, I measured it when I got back on Tuesday, and I didn't measure it, and I didn't save it again today, so I didn't save it to know if it's actually growing. But you know, my foot as a size reference, world record on these guys about 300 pounds. This one measures at about 100 pounds. State record's 170, so I don't think I'll get there, but I mean, this has definitely motivated me to grow another giant bushel gourd, because that thing's awesome. That looks like a giant Granny Smith apple or something. Look how fun that is. And then there's another one, of course. I grew another, that one's maybe 20 pounds or so. If that one's 100, that one's probably 20. So if I would have snipped that off, would that have been 20 pounds heavier? Who knows? And then the spot where, whatever this pumpkin we called was, I don't think we named it. Did not have a name, but just kind of hanging out over here. Was on my agenda to pull up the rest of this plant today, but I had to go into work, so oh well. And then what else did I want to talk to you guys about? Don't want to ramble, keep the content interesting. Show you this pumpkin over here. So this plant's basically toast. You can see it's just about 100% toast. There is, you know, this back half of the plant is still alive, and you can see the pumpkin that I'm trying to grow on the blossom. And give this a gander with a cucumber beetle on it. A dead cucumber beetle. And there's another one. So many cucumber beetles. So that's kind of interesting. Another porch pumpkin. And my tomato plant that never got planted, that's all over there. So what am I going to do for next year? You know, going to Massachusetts and seeing how some of the, you know, the top level 2,000 pound growers, I cannot believe how many cucumber beetles I am seeing flying around in here. I might have to spray with some bug spray. That's pretty ridiculous. Seeing what some of the top level growers do, you know, I'm a little more motivated. I definitely am disappointed with how things went this year. Cucumber beetle just flew away. Cucumber beetle just landed. Come back here. Cucumber beetle on the other side. So definitely disappointed with how things went this year, and sometimes it just that's how the cards fall. You know, this plant was the best looking, biggest plant I've ever had. I would definitely grow that seed again. You know, Bernie, despite birding at the drop of a hat, is still rocking and rolling, and it'll probably have a 700 pound pumpkin. And then that little basically accident pumpkin back there, that one's 400 pounds or so. So, you know, goes to show, if that seed was the same plant that was over here, if that hadn't gotten, you know, sick, then it probably would have been really jamming. So definitely want to grow that 1984 again, which reminds me I need to ask Don if I can get another seed or 3 from him. But yeah, so moving forward next year, I'm really considering replacing the screen with plastic, or I don't know, or at least adding plastic to the early springtime. So like all April, have plastic over it, so it really kind of retains that heat. But then it gets to the point where, you know, I'm covering this whole thing in plastic, and when the plants are that small, you know, I really only need about this much covered in plastic. So does it make sense to heat all of this versus just heat something small? So I don't know what the answer is there. That's a bit of a conundrum, but that's one of the things that the guys back east said, is that, you know, really start early. You need to have your pumpkins pollinated middle of June if you want to have, you know, a true giant, something that you'd be flirting with 2,000 pounds if you're back there. But for us, I would say, you know, if I really want to get that 15, 16, 1,700 pounds, I got to have my plants in the ground a few weeks sooner, and I need them pollinated by middle of June or so is really where I need to be shooting for. And, you know, those guys back east, they you know, they have the results to back up that advice. And that's what, yeah, some of our top growers here in town do. They start them real early, like Mark Sawtell and Joe Sherber. You know, those guys kind of lead the pack in giant pumpkins in Colorado, and they start theirs real early. So I'll have to figure out something better than those. I'm really happy. I do like those. Those are really good for seed starting, but they're not, you know, they're not something that I could leave the pumpkins in for a month or 6 weeks or 8 weeks while they grow and really get that head start. So I think that's all I got for you guys this week. Way offs are coming up pretty soon. Send me those bubbles. If you don't know how to do it, check out the last video. I did a quick tutorial on how to send a bubble. If you want some seeds, I'm happy to send them to you. Throw a little note in there, say, hey Chad, I subscribe to your channel and send me some seeds because I enjoy your videos, or make up some sort of lie. You know, give us something to work with. But that's all we got for this go around. Gonna go sit on the porch and contemplate life for a little while. Hopefully you guys enjoy the video. As always, questions, comments, queries, or even a concern, go ahead, comment below, send me a message. If you need the address for that bubble, find our Facebook page, which is just /Colorado Giants, and we'll get you out, or get us out a bubble. We'll get you the address, get us out a bubble. We'll send you some seeds when everything's dry in November. Alrighty, have a good one.